All right. Good morning, everyone, or at least good morning on the West Coast. Good afternoon on the East Coast if you're there. Welcome to our second episode of SiteCapture Live. I'm Kamal Shah. I'm the founder and CEO of SiteCapture. And we also have Robin Droppa, our VP of Sales and Customer Success. And we are going to be talking to you today about, let me get my slides up here. How to complete surveys and inspections without doing a site visit. So great topic. I know it's a topic that a lot of our customers and the industry really cares about. How to be able to get sort of critical data and photos from a site, from a property, from a customer, a resident, without doing a site visit, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Just to talk just a little bit about today's agenda, we're going to start with an introduction to SiteCapture, the company and the product. I know we have a number of our customers that know us well, but we often have people that are just learning about SiteCapture, so we want to do a few minutes on just who we are and what our product does. I'll be talking a little bit about today's topic, about the problem that we're trying to solve, the solution, and the end results of customers that are using those solutions. And then we'll spend most of our time on a live demo that Robin will be doing, actually showing our solution live. And we're happy to take Q&A. If you put questions in the comments of whatever platform you're watching this live stream on, we will see them and we'll answer them. We'll answer some of them as we go, and we'll save some of them for the end, where we will, at the last 5 or 10 minutes that we have left, we can answer any of the remaining questions. Also, if any questions do not get answered, you always can feel free to email us at support@sitecapture.com about anything about specifically how it works, technical stuff, or info@sitecapture.com if you'd like to learn how to get started or get another demo. So there's a few bits of information for you, and we'll talk more about that as we get to the end. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, let's first an introduction to SiteCapture. So SiteCapture, we are a software company. We've been around for about 12 years. We've been focused on solving problems in field operations management for that period of time. And SiteCapture, the product, is a mobile and cloud software platform that helps companies in solar, construction, and property management streamline their field operations. We have native mobile apps for iOS and Android, a web-based application for the people that work in the office, an API that lets you integrate everything into your existing systems. And our customers really use us to manage the jobs they do on job sites every day. As I mentioned, we primarily focus in 3 industries: solar, property management, and construction. And these are some examples of the types of use cases and jobs that our customers use us for doing field reporting and tracking these projects and being able to manage their workflows through each of these various types of jobs. So in solar, a lot of emphasis on site surveys and installation management, property management, inspections, and renovations and turns, acquisition and work orders, and in construction's doing estimating and scoping and project tracking, quality control, all being able to be done with SiteCapture. So that's an introduction of how we get used and a lot of the use cases that we get used in. All right, let's talk about the problem that we want to tackle today. And that really, the way I like to frame the problem is, and our customers talk about this problem, is that you all have many critical processes that you need to get, where you need to get data and photos from the property, from the job site. And that sending someone on site to do that is time consuming and costly, requires a truck roll, requires somebody potentially driving a long distance to go there, capture this information. The other part of it is scheduling the site visit with the resident, and the field staff that's going to be going and doing this is always a pain, trying to get people to find a time where that can be done. And let's face it, there's also many times where a resident would rather not have a stranger come to their home to be doing this kind of stuff, and may prefer to do it themselves. So that's how we get to the solution, which is, hey, what if you could send surveys and inspections directly to the resident, your customer, and allow them to do it? That is what we've provided in SiteCapture with our self surveys and inspections product. What you get is basically the ability to create customized branded forms. For those of you familiar with the product, just with the same way you build templates for any other process, you can build templates that are used for these self surveys and inspections, and they're really easy for the end user to complete them from a smartphone. Doesn't require an app. You simply send them a link. They click on it. It opens their mobile browser and gives them easy step-by-step instructions to answer questions and take photos, the photos that you need. Everything gets uploaded to the cloud as they complete it, and you have immediate access to all that information. So now you've got a process where you can go and get all those critical photos and data without ever having to send somebody onto the job site. At the end of the day, our customers are seeing great results from this feature. They're saving time and money because they don't need to go to visit the job site. They're getting this information instantly from the residents. The residents have a great user experience, and it's branded with your brand, so they're interacting with your company while they're doing this. And it's very easy for everyone, very easy for the companies to get started and launch these things, and also very easy for the end user to complete these things. So that's an introduction to our feature, and I'm going to now hand it over to Robin, who will provide a demo.
Thanks, Kamal. Give me a moment here to share my screen. I'm going to see if this works. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Kamal, that was a great overview. That's exactly how the product works. For anyone who's not familiar with SiteCapture, I'm going to just be focusing exclusively on this particular way of working with our product. So if you have other questions or you want to know more about the product altogether, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to schedule a demo that shows the entire product. For now, I'll just show you, you're looking at SiteCapture as like a manager, an admin, or somebody on the desktop version who would come in here, and you'd have your job site. So that could be, a property address, for example. And once you're in your job site, you would just be picking, for example, this is solar. So I should have said that. So the idea here is this would be a solar company that might be asking the homeowner to do some of that survey or inspection work before the official installation is scheduled. So in this case, it'll be a homeowner survey. And what I would do is I would just go in and I would actually say I wanted to create it. I've already got one here partially filled out, but I want to show you how easy it is to do a new one. I would click on it and I would say, okay, great. I need a homeowner survey. Like Kamal mentioned, these are all based off of our flexible template system. So these surveys can contain whatever questions or instructions or requirements you'd like. But in this case, it's going to just transfer over my name, the homeowner name, and then the homeowner email. Those are really the only two pieces of information you need to get this sent out. And I would just say send to recipient. If I put a due date in this, it can also allow me to set up so that I have reminder emails that come out. And we offer some flexibility around what that schedule for reminder emails is. So that means that we offer the ability for you to say something like, if this hasn't been started, X number of days after it was sent, or maybe it's a certain number of days before it's due. What I'm going to do right now, so I just sent that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over and show you what the experience would look like with me acting as the homeowner. So give me a moment here to stop sharing. And Kamal, if you want to fill in any of the blanks while I'm getting my survey.
I think a couple things to mention is, Robin is demoing a solar use case, which is the ability to get an in-home site survey to have some site survey data provided directly from the homeowner. I think the other thing that there are other use cases I should mention in the property management sector. We have customers that are using this for property condition reports and move in and move out inspections. So having the tenants perform those without, again, having to have somebody go into the home to do that from your staff. We've also seen a lot of other interesting use cases. We've seen places where they're gathering inventory from a property. So having the the homeowner or tenant actually be able to document the inventory that's in a given apartment or resident or home. And also we've seen some use cases in the insurance industry as well, where they're using it to gather information. So, just to know that there's lots of use cases for this product. We're specifically demoing today the use case of a homeowner site survey in the solar industry. I think Robin may also show a little bit about a property management use case, but just to know that there's a wide variety of use cases. And if you have other thoughts on how you might be able to, cases where you want to gather photos and data from the resident of the property or someone who's on the site, this could be a great tool, and be happy to discuss that with you as needed.
So give me one moment. I'm just having a little trouble finding my phone shared. Here we go. I think you can see it there. So what you're seeing is my email, my actual email. So I would have this email. Again, it would be branded to your company. So it's like your logo. And all of this, the welcome to me, any instructions or anything that you want to say, is all flexible, and it's up to our customer to put this in. This can also, again, it's done in the template. So this can be the same every time, or you can edit it specifically for the individual homeowner, totally up to you. And then the things that you have selected that are going to display about the job anyway will display down here. I've opened this in my mobile phone on my email client, and all I need to do is click Get Started. And what that's going to do now is it's going to instantly open up in my browser on my mobile device. And then again, these kinds of instructions, you guys can create whatever makes sense for you. But I would just click Get Started as the homeowner. And just so you know, when I do that, when I click Get Started, on your end, if you're looking in SiteCapture using what we call the web app, or like off a laptop or off of a desktop through the web browser, you'll actually be able to see immediately that that person has started this. So they're actually accepting it or starting it or beginning the work. It's a different structure than our product that works in our mobile applications, much simpler and made very easy for someone who has no training on using an app. And so I would just go in here, and any place where there's a circle without a check mark, I have something that I need to complete. And so just like in our app, I would scroll and I would find the things that are in red, so telling me what I need to complete. And so as I would just go through here, and it'll be, each time I do, it's going to change to the darker color, telling me I've completed it. And I'm just going to be answering these questions, and of course, adding photos. So I would be clicking in there, and I would find, the photo that I want to add. I don't actually have a utility bill, so I'll pick this one. I would focus just like normal, zoom in, zoom out, all of the things that you would expect, take my photo, and then I can evaluate, do I want to use it or not? If I say use that photo, again, because I'm connected to my own Wi-Fi or my own strong cell data, this is uploading immediately. You would be able to be seeing this as it was going if you liked. And then the done button comes out green, telling me I've met all my requirements. You can see it's checked. So I'm just going to go real quick now and fill out some of these additional requirements here so that we can show you what it looks like at the end. Utility meter. I have one of those. And then, again, just answering questions. Also, we do offer the ability to put those conditional fields, and I'll show you what that's like. But those are the fields where the answer to one question actually allows you to see additional instructions or questions. So in this case, the question is, does your home have attic access? And if I say no, then I've actually just done that section. If I say yes, it's going to pop open with some additional things that I would be filling out. I'll say no just to make this go fast. Again, you see it's checking off as I go, kind of just letting me know everything I need to do. And every time I've met all the requirements, I can be done. And finally, I've got one last photo requirement here, so I'll do that. And by the way, all of those requirements are completely flexible, and those are things that our customers control. I have very few requirements in here to make this go quickly for the purposes of our demo today, but you can absolutely require, multiple different photos. So now what happened is you can see the submit button is hot, and I can submit. and then it just tells me I'm done. Another option that you'll have at this point is you will have an option to actually allow them to have a PDF report of that survey. So it's just a button click you could do on the portal side where you guys can say, yes, let them go ahead and download that. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to go right back over to my email quickly. And what I wanted to do is I just wanted to show you that in addition to like a solar inspection, we can also do, sorry, you're gonna have to like read through my email as I scroll. We can also do different types of inspections with additional features in them for whatever purpose you may have. So very similar to what I just showed you. They go through that exact same process. I know I did that quickly, but you could see like different instructions. And this one's just partially filled out, but wanted to just show you, like, for example, in something like this one, you could also do things like what we call multiple selection options. So for example, this is meant more for like a resident, someone renting a property, and the property owner is sending this to them. And so if they say, yes, they have pets, then they're asked to select what types of pets they have, and they could actually select more than one. And then they're asked, to take a photo and kind of show the information about those pets. You can see this is a bit of a longer survey. Again, taking advantage of things like quick yes and no answers, button selections, and of course, photos. I'm just going to take one photo here and then finish this one out for you. And then I'll show you a few other additional features and things that you can do here. So in this one, as I get to the end, you can also incorporate something like a click-through license or an agreement. So you can have them, certify that they're reading this and that they accept it. You can also get signatures. So if you want them to sign, and that signature will be, GPS located and date and time stamped. And then again, now I've completed this full survey. I click submit. And this is just to show you, like, this would be with the option on where I'm allowing that person to further get the nice PDF report so they could download this and have their own record of what they sent you. In a nutshell, that's what it looks like, the experience for the person who's doing this for you. I'm going to stop sharing and switch back over to the portal, but Kamal, if we've had any questions or if you have anything to add there while I'm doing that. I can't hear Kamal. I can't hear Kamal at all.
I'm on mute.
Okay.
One of the questions that came in was, can we modify the questions that are in those forms?
Absolutely. It's one of the strongest features of our entire system is our customers have the ability to modify all of the questions, whether or not they're required. There's all kinds of workflows you can set behind those questions. Like I mentioned, the answer to one question can trigger a follow-on instruction, or a follow-on question can trigger an additional requirement. Like if you answer a question a certain way, it could require you to take a photo. So you have lots and lots of configuration options to those forms themselves.
And then the second question came in, which I think you're probably going to show next anyway, is how can I review the photos? And can I also create the same report that you showed?
Absolutely. And you're right. I am going to show that now. So let me share my screen again. All right. So say the questions again. The first question was we talked about they can work on the templates, or which is basically editing the forms to have the right questions. And the second was reviewing photos. And the third was about the PDF report. Is that right?
That's right. Those are the three questions.
Awesome. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go back to that job site that I showed you guys first from the solar installation. And now I'll go into my homeowner surveys, and I can see right here that this homeowner survey is now complete. And so first and foremost, you absolutely can generate that very same PDF report. In fact, we have the ability, when I talk about editing those forms, you have the ability to show and hide certain fields. So if you had more data in that form than what you wanted the homeowner or the resident of the property to see, you can generate the admin version of that report. The version that they got is what we call the customer version. There's also a version for like what we call a field user, but either way, you can generate either that exact same report, the customer version, and or you could generate this admin version of the report. And it's just a one click and it'll open up a PDF report for you. I'm actually only sharing this tab right now, so it just isn't opening up that second tab, but I can go back and share that if you want to see it. In terms of reviewing the photos, it works the way the rest of our product works, which is this very robust photo viewer. Not only does it give you the ability to review those photos, but it keeps them well organized in a file structure. So all the photos are always going to be attached to the primary project itself. Every photo is going to be broken down by the field it was taken in and by the data that was associated with that field or the instruction you gave or the question you asked. And also you'll be able to validate the GPS location so you can prove that the person took the photo at the property that you expected them to take the photo at. And there's also date and time stamps there. I mean, you can see it's just saying resident, so it's just telling you that they took this photo. You can scroll through as you go. Depending on the resolution setting you have, if you did use a high resolution setting, you'll also be able to drill in and like further magnify that photo and see it in more detail. And this is really, kind of the best way, kind of how you do that photo review. You could caption these photos in addition to that. So particularly internally, if you wanted to make some notes, you can do that while you go. Overall, you'll have the complete survey here. So you can also just scroll through and read all of the answers to questions. And again, like I said, you can print that quickly to the PDF report or to any. You can do multiple different versions of the PDF report. A few other things to note. You can also access these through our API. So any of our customers who are interested in integrations, you can push and pull this data through our API, just like you can other aspects of our product. That's kind of the sum of my demo. So I'm happy to take more questions, Kamal, or if you want to point out anything additional, I'm happy to jump
Rob,
around.
did you want to maybe do a quick demo of how someone can change the questions?
Sure. Got a minute? I'll be happy to show. So our whole system is role and permission based. So what that means is you as our customer give permission to specific people in your organization who can make the changes to these. So in this case, we've got this type, which is these residential, I'm looking for my homeowner survey. The one that we just did would be the published version. To make a change to it, you just click edit. It's really simple. If you can use Microsoft Word, you can use this. You drag and drop things around. If you want to call a section something differently, you just simply click in and you can edit the name. It's like if you wanted to call this homeowner, it's literally, like I said, like if you can use Word, you can do this. That's the simple side. I'm not going to do that. But in addition to that, you could edit any of these questions or instructions, or you can add brand new ones. You can also make copies of existing to add new. And then I'm going to drill into one really quickly just to show you some of the more robust features here. So, in addition to that, so you can make changes, like I said, to the instruction or the question that exists. You can put some descriptive text or more instructional text in. In addition to that, you have the choice, like what goes in that field. So if you want them to enter a date, you can pick the date picker in this field. If you want to make it an easy select option, you can do that as well. And then, like I mentioned, we've got all kinds of nice workflows behind this. So you can do things like set it up so they're required to take a photo, etc. Whether or not that field is required. And I mentioned sometimes you might have things that you hide, like maybe you have data points that you keep in this survey, but you don't really want anyone to change it. And you might not necessarily even want your homeowner to see it or your resident to see it. And then you can just do this. You can do hide from, and that'll prevent them from seeing it. Additionally, you have just other choices, like whether or not you want to allow them to add an additional comment, and you can choose the resolutions of the photos that are getting taken in those fields. So sometimes people choose, highest resolution when they're having someone take a photo of something like a utility bill, because you'll need to be able to see it clearly. So yeah, so it's really simple. Adding a new field, just a blank box shows up. You would just put in whatever question you want. Again, those things that I just talked about, you would pick, like, what is it? I just want them to put text in. You choose whether or not it's required and whether you're hiding it. If you wanted to make it conditional, you'd pick, oh, I want this to only show up when someone answers, this specific value here. So I could put in like PG&E and say, okay, I have an extra question. But that's our template editor. Really simple. You can test to make sure that you like the changes you made here. And then if you don't, you just delete your test and then just go back and edit some more. When you're finally happy with it, you simply publish it. And all the time, all the work that you create after that will reflect the edited template. Do we have any other questions?
Great. Yeah, we do have a couple more questions. Okay, let's see. How long does it take to set up one of these in SiteCapture?
Yeah, so we have some expertise in the different use cases. And so I think for our solar customers, we deliver you one or two of these examples to start with. And I've seen customers just use them right out of the box, so to speak. So that's minutes. But if you need to make some changes to it, again, you saw what I was just doing there. So depending on how many changes you need to make, but it should not take very long at all. And the same thing on the property management side. So if you are looking for something you can send to a renter to do move-in inspection or a periodic inspection or whatever it might be, again, we've got 3 or 4 different templates for that. Template, by the way, I always say that word, but it's really just the form. So we've got them already installed. And if you try our product, you'll get them. They'll be part of what we send to you to start with. And we have a really great team of customer success people and support team who can help you get these set up or perfected if you want to make changes to them. So I've seen people launch these really quickly, just a matter of a day.
Great. We also have one other question, which I think, which we'll probably answer towards the end, which is there an extra cost or is it part of the existing account?
Yeah.
So we'll cover pricing at the end, but there is an additional cost for this module. And I think there's a lot of flexibility in the way we structure the pricing. So we'll cover that as we get to the end of the presentation.
Yep.
One other question was, what kind of response rate do you see and complete as well? It says response rate. What kind of response rate do you see with these surveys?
Well, that's a great question. And one thing I would say is, one thing I didn't mention before is there is a way that you can also take these links and email them out directly yourself. So in those cases, you would really know your own response rates to who's opening your emails. As far as what I've heard from customers when they send these out, they're getting fairly good results from people opening the emails. What I do know from the product side, what we've measured is when people click that button that says get started, we've seen as high as 98% completion rates. And I don't think I've ever seen it go lower than 95%. So the things that affect that will be how long your survey is, whether it's overcomplicated. So I always recommend work closely with us. If you are going to substantially change the examples that we send you, it's probably good to work with our customer success team so we can help you make sure it stays simple enough for them to complete. But we've had customers with just incredible response rates to these. I do think some of those points Kamal made earlier about the challenges or the problems or the need for this product, a lot of times the homeowner is very compelled to do this. So they're happy to get it done quickly.
Great. And there was one more question actually that you sort of answered a little bit. Robin says, can I send these links from my own CRM?
Yes. So as far as sending in bulk, there's a couple things. So one is in our system, you can actually select up to 100 at a time and send them all out at once. And then absolutely, again, we can talk about integration. So through our integration points, there's ways that you can send these directly through your own CRM. And we can also work with you in an export way. So you create them and you're ready, and we can get you an export with all your links so you can manually import it into your CRM to send it out that way.
Okay, great. Okay, there's one more question here. If the customer uploads the wrong info, can that be responded to and assigned back to the customer to edit the required information, or do you need to send a new template?
I believe the answer is the first part, yes. So you simply would change the status back. So you would just change it back from a status of complete, and I believe the link is the same, but absolutely. And they can also, by the way, they can pause. So if they don't finish it when they very first start it, they can always click the link and get right back to it. But as long as you change that status back from complete, they should have access to it.
Great. I think, Robin, you mentioned one great point, which is if the customer gets halfway through completing it and they don't finish it, if they go back to the same link, they just continue from where they left off.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Got it. And I think in the same way that is so, and I think the answer is if you want the customer to re-enter the information, you can set the status back to like an in progress status. And I assume probably even delete the required information that they entered incorrectly, and then it would show up as a required field for them to re-enter it.
I believe so. Yes. If you cleared out the data, it'll be required again.
Great. So I think the answer, to the question is yes, it could just be sent back and you can get the information, just the required information that they missed. So great. Okay. Well, I'm going to just a few wrap up points here that I want to cover. Let me bring the slide deck back up. Okay, so we thanks for the demo, Robin. I think the key results that we wanted to make sure that we communicate that our customers have been seeing are, again, the ability to save the time and the money by not having to send somebody on site and not have to do a site visit. You're able to see how you get this information instantly from the resident and the kind of experience they have. And I think Robin mentioned the 98 to 95 to 98% completion rate once they get started, which is really our proof points that it has been easy to use for users for the most part. So I think those are really key things to communicate. Just jumping into pricing, which was one of the questions. It's an additional module for the self-inspections. We really have a couple of different tiers. So you can get started for $150 a month, which gives you 30 of these inspections per month. And then $3 additional for anything over 30. The next tier up is $300 a month for 150 inspections, and then $2 for anything additional. But if anybody's looking to do things in bulk, we do have customers that are actually doing, I think, up to thousands of these per month. And we have enterprise pricing available that we'd be happy to chat with you about further. And so with next steps, just to note that anybody that wants to get started with this or get a personalized demo, it's really easy. Just send us an email at info@sitecapture.com. Happy to follow up with a demo. If you have some other pricing, you're doing this at large scale, want to talk about enterprise pricing, happy to do that on a conversation, but really easy to get started just by sending us an email, and we'll make sure you get a trial. One other thing to note is that we are offering right now a 30-day free trial of this. So that's either for our existing customers that want to add this or any customers that are not existing customers and would like to try that out. There's an opportunity if you sign up with us before the end of the year, you can get 30 days free and have a chance to try it without any cost. I think that's really most of it. Robin, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I think that's perfect. I would just say quickly, one thing, you don't have to jump to thousands. So if there's something in between there and you have a number that you want to work with and you want to talk to us about what that pricing looks like, just reach out. We're happy to talk to you about it, but it's very simple to implement. I think I would encourage you to try it, especially during the 30-day free trial, because it's really easy to implement.
Great. All right. Well, I think we had scheduled till 10:45. We don't have any other questions, so we'll let everybody get going with their day. But again, please reach out to us at info@sitecapture.com if you'd like to learn more about the self-surveys and self-inspection features. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the next one in about a month. Bye.